You're now rocking one-on-one with Raider Mystic KPOV 88.9.
One-on-one with Raider Mystic. Yay!
To me, there are three things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number one is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number two is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number three is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special.
All right. Good morning, Bend, Oregon. You're tuned in to One-on-One with Raider Mystic. We've been live every single week since the very first episode. And I have a very special champion guest in the house today. Michelle Goodin, BMX racing champion, representing the ladies. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
How are you doing this lovely morning?
I am awake, ready to go.
That's awesome. It is Saturday, April 15th, 8:02 a.m. You're tuned into KPOV Bend 88.9. You can stream it on kpov.org, or you can get the app for your smartphone or your iPad or your Android or your spaceship. The app is called TuneIn. Download it, and you can look up KPOV and find it there also. So, little D-O-double-G, help wake you up. So I understand, too, that the BMX crowd get a little rowdy?
The BMX crowd can get a little rowdy.
Right on.
I'm hoping they didn't get too rowdy last night and that somebody out there is listening.
Hopefully they're tuned in. So, we're going to talk a little history here on BMX. So, I know that you've won a lot of things here. We're going to talk about that as well. But for those that don't know, Michelle is a BMX racer. So you don't do the freestyle.
No, BMX racing is bicycle motocross. So it started, I'd say, back in the late 70s. It was pretty popular in the 80s with the movie Rad, and it continues to grow as a sport.
Yeah, what a word.
It's the best movie.
Representing the 80s. I have to go watch that. And so you're racing on BMX bikes, obviously. Avi. And as far as is there like a limited size that you can use, or is anything a go?
Typically, you can race a 24-inch cruiser that's got 24-inch tires. It's a little bit smaller than, a 26-inch mountain bike, which I race that size bike. And then your standard size BMX bike is a 20-inch bike. So that's the smaller one with the smaller tires that you would see at a freestyle park, but ours are race bikes, so they tend to be pretty light, single speed, specifically built for racing.
And now I still feel like that would be kind of small for me. Would that?
Oh, you would probably need a Pro XXXL frame. It's the biggest size they make, or you'd have to get a custom frame built. You're pretty big.
I would have to mess around. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just, going back to my BMX when I was in fifth grade.
Oh, there's lots of people out there that still collect vintage BMX bikes. It's a thing.
I was riding a BMX in Bend, Oregon back in the 80s. When Expressway was the hottest, newest market in town on the northeast side over there, way before all this other stuff. But so you're connected. Let's talk about some of the champion stuff, and then we'll get back into the history. So you told me you're a 9-time state champion.
This is true. For my age group, I've won between my 20-inch bike and the 24-inch cruiser. I've won state championships 9 times.
State championships 9 times. And where do they hold these races?
Those are usually, the state finals are determined on track membership. So they've been at Malala BMX outside of Portland. We hosted state championships, I believe, in 2015. They've been in Grants Pass, Eugene. So it just kind of varies from year to year, and it's typically based on track membership. So the more riders that you have based at your track puts you in contention to get state championships.
And how long have you been racing?
I started, had my youngest son in 2011. My oldest son was already racing at that time. And I think I tried my first race in late 2011. And then in 2012, I actually got a bike and started taking it pretty seriously.
Were you biking on BMXs before that? Or do you just how did you get into it?
No, I, like you, rode, my Diamondback around Bend in the 80s. And maybe
I don't
did
have
some
a Diamondback. No.
But I hadn't been a huge bike rider until then. I had played roller derby here with Lava City for a very long time and had retired because I was going to get hurt.
Right.
And then my oldest son saw BMX on the Olympics, and he came to us when he was 5, and he said, I want to go try this. So we realized that there was a track here in Bend. It used to be High Desert BMX, which it's been around Bend for 35 years, maybe longer. But he came to us one day, said, I want to try this. We took him out to the track. He really loved it and sort of took to it pretty quickly. And then I had some ladies back then. There was some other ladies here racing in Bend, and they're like, you should come try this. So I did.
Awesome. I know. Yeah, my cousin was a big BMX racer, and his living room was full of giant trophies growing up. Shout out Brian Chambers. I know you're not listening, but shout out. And has that track always been in that same location here in Bend?
I've heard that. So back in the 80s, I think that the BMX track was kind of over near Cascade Middle School, back where the old dump used to be. It was kind of over there. And then it was Bear Creek BMX back in the early 80s for a while. So it was off Bear Creek Road. But we've been out at Big Sky Park in that space, I'd say, for at least 25 years.
Yeah, I know off of Cascade Lakes over there back in the 80s, there was a big building that had a lot of dirt inside of it, but it was remote control car racing right next to Baldy's Barbecue. And my family was in the business of making battery packs for remote control devices. So we were sponsoring, and we were always out there racing remote control cars. And I was like, oh, that would be an easy place to convert into that. I don't know if that might have happened there a little bit.
It's our dream here to have an indoor track. There's no indoor track in Oregon. There used to be in Eugene for a long time at the fairgrounds, but we lost that about 5 years ago. So no indoor racing in Oregon. It would be amazing if we could have that back.
And speaking of indoor racing, I believe you just were indoor racing at the fairgrounds here, right?
Yeah, Great Northwest Nationals.
Yeah,
it's in Redmond every year.
A couple weeks ago. And you won, right?
I did. I took home a couple wins on my class bike, which is the 20-inch bike. USA BMX recently added a 51 and over ladies expert class. So that's my class.
Yeah, so in case you don't know, I usually don't share a lady's age without permission.
But in this case, we advocated for years for the USA BMX to add this class because there are still some of us out there over 51 who want to race those small bikes. I think right now in the U.S., I think there's 25 of us that are doing national points right now.
So Michelle is 51. Is that correct? 51, balling out of control on BMXs. Just got into it 12, 13 years ago, something like that. And it looks like you've also won the Northwest Gold Cup 8 times?
Yes, that is a regional race. It's broken up by there's Northwest, Southwest, Northeast, Southeast, and Central. So those are regional series of races that you can do. Also put on by USA BMX. So,
and then we got 5-time national champion.
Yeah, just for national races. So
yeah. And where are those held?
There are, I believe, I want to say 26, I think, national races. Those are held all over the country. So you can, if you have the time and the energy, you can travel all over the country doing nationals. But those are put on by USA BMX, and sometimes they're at the same location every year, like the Great Northwest here at our fairgrounds. And sometimes they change location, like Caldwell, Idaho just got a national this year. So that's a new race. Oregon got 2 nationals this year. So Lumberjack Nationals will be in May, and those are at Emerald Valley BMX in Eugene. So that's really a big deal for us to get 2 nationals in our state this year.
Emerald Valley BMX, that's the name of the spot in Eugene?
In Eugene, right next to Autzen Stadium.
Okay. And then we also have, and I believe as far as this national thing goes, what do you have coming up? Aren't you competing in something of that nature?
Yeah, I have the national here in May, and then I have 3 or 4 more after that. So, and each national's 3 days. So you race Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you can see where you're at toward the end of the year. And Grand Nationals are in Tulsa every year, and that's the week of Thanksgiving. So at Grand Nationals, that's everyone. They call it the greatest race on earth. It's thousands and thousands of riders. It takes a week to get through, and you can go there and compete for national age group plates. We call them NAG plates.
Oh, the old NAGs.
The NAGs.
And have you been to that?
I actually haven't been to Grands yet, even in all the years I've been racing. Raced at World Championships, but
so
not
that's Thanksgiving week, though, also. So, a lot of families getting together. It's a tough time to plan stuff like that.
Yeah. I think my kids are so far apart in age, 17 and 11, that it's been hard to get away for that. But now that my youngest is getting older and I can leave for a week at a time like that, yes, my plan is to go to Grands this year.
Okay. Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma. Spend a week, Thanksgiving week in Tulsa.
Okie from Skonokie or whatever.
USA BMX, the sanctioning body for BMX in the United States, just built their headquarters in Tulsa.
Okay.
So.
And also, what is this 2017 USA Team UCI BMX World Championships that you were at?
Well, BMX World Championships were coming back to the United States, I think after 17 years. They had always been overseas, and they came to Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is, they call that a supercross track because there's an 8-meter start hill. So it's what Olympic riders race on. I didn't race on that hill. I raced on the smaller hill.
Okay.
But it was just an opportunity to race at World Championships, and there's an amateur. You've got your pro races, and then challenge class, which is for amateur riders. And I decided to do the qualifier, and I actually qualified on both bikes to go. I just ended up taking my cruiser, not my 20-inch, but it was great. I mean, there were I met people from all over the world, got to race on this amazing world-class track in South Carolina. Did not like the humidity on my race day or the heat, but I did okay.
It's much different for us Central Oregonians when you drop into something like Mississippi.
Well, they were in South Carolina in July. So I think on my race day it was 94 degrees with 90% humidity. Not fun. And I made some mistakes. I almost made semis out of, I think, 80 women in my cruiser class, and just made a mistake on the last turn. But it was so fun because, I mean, they do a parade of nations, like with flags, and there's a tradition where you buy 2 jerseys. So you get your USA jersey, and then you buy an extra one to trade with someone from another country.
Okay.
So it was really great to meet so many people.
The international BMXers.
Yes. A little bit different. UCI is the governing body for biking in the rest of the world.
Okay. And so I'm assuming that where else have you looked into international competitions? Have you wanted to do this in like Fiji or Africa?
I almost did Worlds this year. I was going to do qualifiers there in Scotland this next summer. So I have quite a few friends that are going to Scotland to race. I think it's somewhat cost prohibitive to race overseas. I mean, there's a lot of countries have beautiful tracks and take very good care of the tracks, but UCI race fees tend to be very expensive. It's expensive to fly with bicycles. And the reality is a lot of them don't make it to the destination, and that's a big thing. So.
That's one part of that I wasn't thinking about. Yeah, you have to bring the bike.
Yes. Yeah, you just get these little golf bags and you take your bike apart and pack them into a golf bag. But I know a lot of friends that have traveled and either not had their bike show up or it showed up late and they missed practice or the first race day. I have a lot of friends going to Worlds in Scotland this summer who are, looking at just flat out shipping their bike over UPS or bike flights, something like that, versus flying with them because the airlines are not bike friendly. So, which is sad because I can check golf clubs for free, but then I have to pay, $100 for a bike in the same bag.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
That's kind of strange. World's a little crazy sometimes.
It is.
I know in one thing that was really cool, I was in Northwest Africa and flying on Air Afrique. You could fly with drums, no matter the size of them, giant, heavy wooden drums for free because they really respected musicians.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, just throw a couple extra giant djembes that weigh another 100 pounds. As long as the flight can handle it, it's free airfare.
That's great.
So,
good to know next time I go to North Africa.
Yeah, hey, that was, a few years ago. I'm not sure if there's still the same regulations, but it was pretty cool. I flew back with a couple strapped on me, and it was all free.
That's wonderful. I wish they would do that with bikes.
Yeah. Respect the game.
Right.
So the Bend, it's called Bend BMX?
Bend BMX.
Bend BMX, the track out here. In case you don't know, and you're just tuning in, we got Michelle Goodin in here, superstar, champion, female, 51-year-old, and also conquered breast cancer.
Yes, it's one of my biggest BMX accomplishments wasn't racing world championships. It was in 2019. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had surgery and 23 rounds of radiation. And 3 months after I finished radiation, I won my first national race. And for me, that's always going to be my biggest accomplishment because I didn't want to get up. I was so tired from radiation. I didn't even want to race that national, but my girlfriends talked me into signing up for it, and I won. And so I was very proud of myself because I really had to push through training, and I would go to work half-time, go to the cancer center, get zapped for radiation, go to my trainer, lift for an hour, and then by the time I got home at 7:30, I was, down for the night.
Right.
But really just BMX is such a supportive community, and feel like all the women that I've met, I mean, of course we all want to win, and we're very, very competitive with each other, but we're also very supportive with one another. And I think because of my experience too, I had a few women decide that, maybe they should go get their mammogram that they've been postponing for a year or two or longer. And so have just tried to use that to talk about it more at races and get USA BMX. We got them to mention that, this is the, hey ladies, you need to go have this done every year. So just getting everybody, like, we should be talking about this, these things. And
yeah, I know Los Angeles Raider superstar on defense, Mike Haynes. His like life mission after being able to be at a large level with some Super Bowl wins and being a superstar and being a cancer survivor and is his main thing when he speaks and signs autographs is he just wants people to go in and get checked. Because early detection is the best. And so he's always preaching, do it.
Yeah, I've lost 2 of my women friends. One was not a racer, but hugely involved in the BMX community. I lost her to cancer a few years ago, and then another friend then within the last 2 years, too, also from breast cancer. So
yep.
I always think about them when I'm out there riding.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're thinking about it, and maybe it's time for you to go get checked.
Exactly.
So do it.
Do not postpone.
Personal story, I was at the doctor last week and following up with some stuff. So I'm getting checked.
Yeah, you should get checked.
Men
get breast cancer too.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, in the words of Ice Cube.
Absolutely.
And so the BMX track here, tell me a little bit about it. It looked like it's getting a remodel or something.
We are. So we are located at Big Sky Park, and the last few years we've had a lot of support from Parks and Rec, which has been great. We've also started working with Visit Bend and the Bend Sustainability Grant, which we got this year. We got some money that's allowed us to really start thinking bigger in terms of we'd like to host a national race here. We'd like to host Gold Cup finals. Now that the park's expanded with their parking and bathroom facilities, there's definitely space out there to hold a race of that size where we could potentially get, a couple thousand people. But we should be in the next week or two that we're open. We don't really have a date yet. That'll be on our Facebook and Instagram page. So keep checking that over the next week or so. But full track rebuild. We bulldozed everything and are creating a track. It'll have a pro section. We pushed the turns out, new dirt, a special coating that's going to help with not having to water so much and with track maintenance. But we just want to be able to create a world-class facility for people because we have produced world champions out of our track here who have, younger kids, teenagers, and who have won world championships for their age group. And so we want to be able to continue to provide a training facility that is going to produce that level of rider.
Yeah, and I saw something pop up across my news feed about another younger lady that did some big stuff. Don't know her name off the top of my head.
Probably Sofia Rodriguez. So fast. That whole family is so fast on their bikes. She's got some younger siblings that race too, and but she's been at World Championships and has done quite well. So,
and I remember too, my kid having a friend that was always racing out there. It seems like to be like a every weekend kind of thing. I mean, how often?
Typically we race twice a week, so we usually have always traditionally raced Wednesday evenings and Sunday mornings.
Okay.
We might, because the snow and the weather kind of pushed back this track rebuild. We had hoped to get it done a little bit sooner, and I think the weather just hasn't cooperated, so we're a little behind on where we would like to be open normally in March. And so we might end up doing some makeup races, maybe add 3 days a week to start, or maybe later in the summertime once we get up and going.
Do your kids get on the BMX at all?
My youngest is 11. He actually won the national here when he was 5 on his Strider bike and said that he was done.
Hold on. He won the national when he was 5?
Yep, on his Strider bike.
And he's like, I'm out. Mic drop.
The push bike. He got a big trophy. He said, yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. And done.
He does not race. He snowboards. But my oldest senior, he's a senior in high school. He's 17. He started when he was 5. He's 1720 expert class. Not racing so much this year, just kind of trying to wrap up school and get his post-high school life in order. But yeah, he really took to racing and stuck with it all this time. And it's been really cool because there's a few boys here. They all started when they were about 4 or 5. And now they're all, seniors, juniors, seniors in high school. And they're still friends, still racing each other. It's like to watch them grow up together racing this sport. It's been really cool.
Yes, that's awesome. And so if someone wants to get involved with, if I want to just drop a bike in and check it out, what do I got to do?
Well, you need to check our Facebook page and see when we're going to open for the season. And then you're welcome to come out and we'll have you sign a waiver. You get a 1-day free trial.
Another waiver.
We do have to pay insurance fees.
They made me sign a waiver when I was taking a mattress out of the mattress firm building the other day. I assumed the mattress spot would have twine that you could put the mattress on top of your car, but they don't. They're not allowed. You're not allowed to use twine from the mattress place. It's a liability issue.
Use at your own risk mattress.
And I put it on the car, and I had one piece of rope left over from the Bend, Oregon Christmas parade, from when Raider Nation takes over downtown, but. And they came out with an extra piece of paper when they saw what I was doing. And they're like, sir, you need to sign this paper. We're not responsible for what happens to this once you leave the premises. I'm like, is it because I only had one twine? But it was pretty funny.
Now I want to go to a mattress store and start some trouble.
You never know. There's lots of waivers. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all good.
But we sign a waiver, come out there.
You can come out. We will have loaner bikes that you can.
So there are bikes out there?
Yep, we're going to have loaner bikes this year and full face helmets. Full face helmets is a requirement. But
with like a grill on the front?
No, not all old school. That was like 80s. Like some guys still wear those helmets with the grill on the front, but no, full face helmet, like a downhill mountain bike kind of helmet. We'll have those and bikes, and we'll have a checkout system, and you can pay to rent for if your child likes it or you like it. You can do that a couple times, and then if you're really interested, we can totally help you. Look for a BMX bike that is yours to own.
Because I kind of want to check it out. Really,
it's really fun.
Low key, I really want to.
We do have lots of guys your age that race. So
yeah, it looks fun. Fun. I've never done it, but I've been wanting to bike. Haven't been ready to pay another couple G's on a mountain bike quite yet.
I am hoping that this year is the year that I get some ladies out to start racing.
What is the price tag on BMX bikes? Kind of.
You can spend. For kids people just starting out, we usually try to find them something used. Kids tend to grow very fast. There's lots of different frame sizes. They go through those pretty quickly. I mean, you can spend $500 on a just used basic bike, or, if you stick with it, you can start building your bikes, which, you're getting your frame, and then you just start buying all the different components and start building up, which is what I did for my bikes. But when I first started, I just borrowed a bike from somebody, and then I bought a pretty, very used cruiser to race on. And then once I realized that I was serious, I started, paying more attention to what my bike components were, and carbon rims.
Putting oil on the chain.
Carbon rims, and, wanted lightweight cranks. And so, you can spend $5,000, $3,000. You could spend a couple hundred. It just depends. But if kids are people starting out, we don't recommend spending a lot.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would be a lot cheaper than the mountain bike thing, but
they are.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you get all dialed in and styled out.
And there's a whole community out there of, selling parts and bikes constantly online, because kids outgrow their bikes so quickly. But you shouldn't spend money on that kind of bike unless you decide that you really want to do it.
That would be rad. Any other BMX bike movies that you can think of off the top of your head? Rad is the main is the big one, right?
Yeah, everyone wants to be Crew Jones. the main character in Rad.
Yeah.
And then you got your Lori Loughlin character.
Yeah, I gotta see it. I remember I've seen it. I know it came on a few times on Showtime at
You can borrow my DVD.
Okay. We got a DVD player.
Oh, there's whole websites out there. There's like a cult following for Rad. I actually did get to sit years ago. I sat on the Mongoose bike that has the only number plate signed by Lori Loughlin.
Wow.
So I felt really special.
Yeah, this is serious stuff.
So I felt very special after I sat on that, and then, wanted to go give free college test admission scores or something after.
Mongoose, that's a big brand. Are they still rocking pretty good, or?
I don't really know. I don't think they have a team or anything. I mean, there's a whole, like I said earlier, vintage BMX. There's people out there that collect all those old bikes.
I still do have a vintage unicycle, a Hutch's. I believe it's Hutch. Does that sound right? Hutch's unicycle from like the 30s or something like that. I had a bike shop here when I brought it in just to get air in the tube. Noticed that it was something special and offered to give me a brand new off-road unicycle in trade with a couple $100.
Oh, wow.
And then when I kind of was picking up that this was kind of special, I stalled, and, of course, now I still have it sitting in the garage, but I'm too big for it, so I should probably get it out and get it to someone that would like it.
Yeah, or get it fixed up and put
So
it
if
on
you're
eBay.
looking for a vintage Hutch's unicycle, you know where to find me.
You could probably ride that at the BMX track.
Yeah.
If you had good balance.
The off-road version. Yeah, not that one. But I got a just-in question. Do you know Olivia Armstrong?
I do know. Did Olivia send that in?
No, I don't even know who Olivia is.
Yes, I do know Olivia Armstrong. I watched her grow up into the amazing pro racer that she's becoming. She turned pro in the last year, I believe, and travels around now and is on the pro circuit for BMX. But just watching her progression over the last 10 years has been really, really fun to watch. So yes, I have trained with Olivia, and she's just a really nice young lady, and she comes back here and gives back to her community with, training. She's working one-on-one with some local kids. So
Olivia's an adult?
I can't remember how old. I know she's over 21 now.
Yeah.
I remember when she graduated from high school. She's an adult, young adult.
Just a rough estimate.
Early 20s.
We're not talking about like a teen or a...
Yeah, but just watching her, grow up with her progression in racing over the last 10 years and getting through high school and watching her go to world championships and then watching her turn pro has been really cool to watch. She's one to keep an eye on, I think.
Okay, so you heard that here first. Olivia. We Bolivia, yeah.
Yeah.
And we hope you Peru it. How about that? And that's straight from shout out to Rhoda. Rhoda's listening out there. Also, maybe Tire Biter from KPOV might be out there.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
We thought we were the only people awake this early.
No, they're out there. They are out there. We got, we had a call in one morning to see what the fans of this show might call us, and we dialed it in at the current name is the One-on-One Nation. So One-on-One Nation, we hear you. And if you text me, call me, you can call us at the phone line here. We might even pick it up, answer your questions, and interact. We're real people. We're not bots. We're not NPCs or whatever the kids say.
I want to give a shout out this morning to our track operator, Nicholas Scott, who celebrated his birthday last night, and hope he made it home safe and sound with some of those guys.
Yep, and we do appreciate Michelle for coming in since she was out there with them celebrating that birthday.
But I was smart. I did not go downtown.
Did not, yep.
It's when we're going to go downtown, that's when you know that it's time to go home.
You're like, oh no.
Because I know myself well enough to know that that's when I should go home.
Yep. Turn and burn. I have a breaking news I need to break real quick. Stand by, Michelle, for just a second, okay?
Okay.
This just in. Yeah, you can blow your nose. Breaking news. We were out at Lake Billy Chinook yesterday fishing. I caught one kokanee. Not just one, we caught two kokanee. We actually caught a suckerfish also. It was a big hefty one, but it was a suckerfish, so we let it go. But honestly, the real breaking news I wanted to tell you guys about regarding fishing. Did you see the breaking news that we had a 25-pound plus bull trout just caught at Lake Billy Chinook? It was in all of the local news in the last 24 hours. Not only could it have been a state record, which they believe it would have been for sure, but it could have been a world record. World record right here, Lake Billy Chinook. You can fish there for years and you'll probably never catch them again, or her. But big fish. They estimated it would have been about 30 pounds. A 30-pound bull trout, Lake Billy Chinook, caught here in the last 7 days in Central Oregon. Old men spend hours and hours and hours scourging the depths of these murky waters. And this guy supposedly wasn't even trying to catch a bull trout. He was just trying to catch a kokanee. And the bull trout caught. So if you go out fishing and you're even if you're fishing for some other kind of fish, there's a chance. Yes, I'm saying there's a chance that some other fish might just bite that lure and take you for a ride. And then in this incident, it was a world record bull trout. However, all we have is a picture, but the picture is the proof. That's what we got right here. So congratulations to the dude that caught that, last name Majeski. And it gives all other fisher people.
I want to know what he was
hope.
using. It wasn't a little girl with like a jelly bean and a Rapala or something, or a worm and a jelly bean. It's always how it is at North Twin.
Yeah, you never know, too, when you're out there. Like yesterday, I had the opportunity to be out there. Thanks, Mike, if you're listening. Enjoy going fishing on a nice boat that it's got the pro fishermen on there knowing what they're doing. Got the fish finder.
I fly fish. I don't need a fish finder.
Is that dot a fish or is it just a clump of seaweed? We never know, but we try.
Fish finders are for slackers.
Are you going to diss the fish finder?
I am going to dish. I'm a fly fisher, so.
Yeah. So you fly fish?
I do.
Where do you like to go?
I like to go to the Fall River, Upper Deschutes.
You ever do Todd Lake at all?
I have not fly fished Todd Lake, but I have fly fished the streams that run out into Sparks Lake.
Okay.
There can be some good fishing in there. I like the Upper Deschutes because I like brook trout, and they're pretty, and they taste good, and there's no limit.
Right.
I'm trying to get rid of them up there, so no limit.
No limit soldier. But yeah, fishing, it's coming that time. I believe Crane Prairie opens next week if you can get in. I don't know. I know there's still a lot of snow. I know they plowed the road to Twin Lakes. There was ice fishing up at Twin Lakes as of last week.
I saw that.
Is the ice still there? I don't know.
Usually the road into Twin Lakes right now still is pretty slushy.
It's got to be pretty slushy, but they did plow it, so a lot more accessible for sure. I believe. Oh no, it was Crescent. No, it was Twin. The new owners up at Twin, so they're supposed to be welcoming everybody. Or maybe that was Crescent. Maybe I'm mixing up my lakes since we have 40,000 of them.
I'm a fair weather fly fishing girl, so I'll be waiting until it's much warmer.
Until it's
to
95.
Go out. Yep, and I can wear a tank top under my waders and go get some sunshine.
I've never fly fished, but that's the next step of learning all the fishing techniques is the fly fishing. But, honestly, most of the time if I'm going fishing, I like to not have to do a lot of stuff. So I am a big fan of maybe having a 2-pole license and throwing it out there with the bobber. And
my spouse is not a fly fisher, so he just wants to throw some power bait on and
throw it out
call
there.
it good.
Throw it out there, maybe jump in the water, swim a little bit.
Yep.
Look for the bald eagle flying over. Hike off in the distance for a second and see if the fish is on when you get back.
Well, the hardest part I'm finding as I get older with fly fishing, my dad was a fly fisher and a guide in Montana, and I'd been fly fishing for a while now, but the older I get, if I don't remember to bring my reading glasses, no fishing is happening because I can't see to tie the knot.
You can't see the
fly on.
string.
I can't tie the knots.
Yep. That's something that comes with the age sometimes.
So,
but you can see that finish line when you're racing.
I can. I do not need glasses for that. So
yeah. It was a tough game for me when I was getting into playing basketball. As I was starting to wear glasses, do I wear the glasses? Do I not wear the glasses? The distance of the hoop is so much different. And, like when I first started wearing the glasses, I felt like Superman, and it was so clear because I've been seeing so fuzzy for years and I didn't even know I needed glasses. And I'd be like missing the hoop by 10 feet. But shout out, I got to give a shout out to all the hoopers out there. It's my birthday week coming up, everybody, and to kind of challenge myself a little bit, I have played pickup basketball 5 times this week, which is an intense amount of physical activity for me, and I was really feeling it yesterday, but I'm got a little rest. I'm on the bounce back, and I got one more pickup game tomorrow morning.
You need to keep that up so you're in shape for the BMX track.
Yep. Got to do that for the BMX track. Man, might have to get into the disc golf. We had a world championship disc golfers. Have you ever been to Bevel?
No, but you told me about this.
Yeah, so Bevel, the couple that runs that place, Nate and Valerie Doss, together, something like 9 times disc golf world champions, sponsored and flown around the globe.
That's cool.
And have their own brewery, and he's got the best brewer of the year the last couple years. They do music out there. Actually, my girlfriend and I will be performing there in August. And they got some food trucks out there.
Where's Bevel at?
Bevel is off of Wilson. Back in that industrial kind of area where it used to be that big recycle barn. I don't know what it was called.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Back there, that's also kind of where Boss has his little training facility. And off of Wilson there between 15th and 8th.
By Par Lumber, out kind of by that way?
Yep, exactly. Okay. Across the street and back
Okay.
half a block and diagonal about 45 degrees, and yeah, right in that area. The taco truck there has the bomb carne asada, if you like carne asada, and they have a lot of extra features like churros for all those kids wanting churros. That's a good spot to hang out. A lot of good food trucks back there.
Just so we need another taco truck.
My mother texted me, 9th Street. Yeah, off of 9th Street. Thanks, Mom. And happy birthday, Mom. And she just turned 77.
Hi, Mom.
It's her 777. It's her year of going to Vegas and hitting it big. But she's not going to Vegas. She's actually going to Cabo San Lucas here in 2 days.
That sounds better than Vegas.
Yep, much better. And a good time. We haven't been there for a while, and a lot of good fishing going on. You should jump on one of those little fishing deals, catch some Dorado while you're down there. Had many good times catching some of those back in the day. But let's see here.
Your mom fishes too?
Yeah, no, Mom doesn't fish that much, I don't believe. Don't want to put words in her mouth, but the last time I saw my mother fish was never. No, I'm sure it's happened. Okay. Memory might just be jarring a little bit there.
She just wants the catch for the kitchen.
Yeah. She cooks a good fish, that's for sure.
Okay, well,
I always like to bring some trout back that way. We got some halibut last year, got some rockfish and stuff. Or the black sea bass is the bomb. We got some of that out of Bandon.
I do like sea bass. We're gonna have to talk more off air about halibut fishing.
Yeah.
It's a bucket list of ours.
Actually, the fishing I was doing yesterday at Lake Billy Chinook for the kokanee, you drop the line all the way to the bottom. You hit the bottom and you jig, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's the same exact thing that you do with the kind of, well, no, it's not the same exact thing. But for the halibut, you're like 20 miles offshore and you drop the giant bait to the bottom of the seafloor. And I'm like, wow, I've never done this. So I'm 20 miles offshore, like crazy deep.
Yeah, because you have to go past the continental shelf, right? Like out that far to get into the depth.
That could be true.
Okay. I think it's true.
I
don't quote me on
I plead
that.
the fifth on that one.
Don't quote me on that.
I just was on the boat and and I went where it went, and it was about 20 miles. And then you drop the bait, it goes all the way, this old rancid piece of fish, all the way to the bottom of the seafloor. And when you feel it hit is when you you raise it just a little bit and leave it right there, because they're bottom feeders, so they're cruising around down there. And then it's a long pull up, reel in, and some of them can be pretty big. And after they found out I was the youngest guy on the boat, and some of these old guys didn't want to pull up these giant fish, so I had some extra work I had to do out there. But it's cool. I ended up with an extra fish out of it.
Yeah.
Out of the deal.
I would take an extra halibut as well.
Just for the halibut.
Just for the halibut.
But yeah, next up is tuna. I want to go out there, and the tuna, I mean, those are big fish, and that's a lot of fish in the freezer for a long time.
Yeah. I'd like to go down to the Caribbean and do bone fishing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. The flies they use are just crazy.
Yeah. That's a whole nother.
Flies, big, rat size.
Different deal. Yeah, it's a crazy fly. And then my dad used to die for abalone. So I grew up eating quite a few abalone. And I've heard stories of fighting with fish underwater. I believe it was a barracuda. And getting a lot of abalone, though. Those are they have a high price to them if you want to sell them.
And you eat that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never
Have you
had it.
You never had it?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of a high-end, well, I don't know why, but yeah, it's an expensive dinner.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But if you're a diver, you just go down and pluck a handful.
Yeah, and then you can
got 'em.
use their shells as soap dishes and stuff.
Yeah. Pretty iridescent, Every now and then you see one car that looks like it. What was I going to say to that?
I don't know. Now I want scallops.
Scallops. Oh, clams. So shout out to Karen out there, girlfriend's mom. She's a clammer. She's clamming anytime she can. And I guess the clamming on the Oregon coast is, it has to be the right levels of everything to be open.
Yeah, don't they close it sometimes for, I don't know, toxic, like algae or...
Yeah, like toxicity levels. Yeah. And that's been going on. And so when they open it, for these moments that they open it for, you have like a week or something, and then it closes again. So, the clammers are all calling their friends up, and they're grabbing their buckets and running to the shores, and getting these razor clams. And we like to eat them. They're pretty dang good.
I like clams.
So that's on the list too. We got to do that. I haven't done that one yet. Have you ever clammed?
No, I've never been clamming. And we also want to go crabbing is kind of on our bucket list too. I have a friend who used to BMX race, but he quit, and him and his wife run a guide service now. They do a lot of crabbing out of Winchester Bay.
Oh, Winchester Bay.
That's on our
We're going to have to get that number for sure. We're trying to set up, the week out and on the coast somewhere. And
his crabbing's been meeting all their catches every day. So
I got a coworker that's brother does a salmon guide service. Thinking about trying to hit that up too, but I guess we're not allowed to have Chinook salmon right now. I think numbers are declining.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not surprised.
But a lot of this fish story stuff is fish stories, but that's a true one.
And we hope it's motivated you all to get a BMX bike and a fishing pole.
Yes, because people that like to do these great, fun, outdoors, athletic things, they have a knack for life, So we like to do fun stuff and nature, and we're in Central Oregon. So if you don't know where you're at, you're in Bend, Oregon, and we got a lot of cool stuff. Like if you're sitting on your butt on Saturday morning, and you're like, what should I do? Well, why don't you go down to this BMX spot and drop a bike in and see if you can catch some air?
Yeah, or go to the new pump track out at Big Sky Park. It's pretty fun too.
Or grab your fishing pole and run up to one of the million lakes that we got, where you still can be the only person there for part of the day.
Live on the edge.
I mean, yesterday when we dropped the boat into Lake Billy Chinook and went down one arm, I'd never been. I didn't know it went that far. It kept going and going and going. I would like to explore more, but we were the only boat there in that whole area for that whole half of the day.
Even with all the crowds here in the summertime, I've been on the Upper Deschutes or the Fall River and haven't seen anybody all day, or maybe just one or two other people.
And even with a world record bull trout being caught...
That's crazy.
At Lake Billy Chinook last week.
Can you keep those at Lake Billy Chinook? Because I know on the Metolius you have to release bull trout.
Okay.
So can you catch them someplace?
Yeah, he could have kept it. He could have kept it
somewhere else.
I'm not exactly sure on the bull trout regulations myself. I'll have to look into that. But as far as I understand, if he kept that fish, then they would officially weighed it, and he could officially have had the world record or the state record.
But he let it go.
But he let it go to make some more.
Right, yeah, that's probably like the daddy of bull trout.
Was his thought, was like, let's get some more of these things.
Yeah.
And so that's a very nice gesture. That's a hard call in that situation. I mean, it was a tough call for me to release a 10-inch kokanee yesterday. It's like, this is the one fish I caught. Oh, okay, go back.
I think someone back, I want to say South Carolina, just in the last couple months, I think some guy caught a record shark or world record shark, but let it go because he wanted it to make more sharks.
Yeah.
So.
And these are nice human beings. It's a big difference in some different hunting styles out there.
Yeah, we don't need to kill every big record animal just to say we got it.
I don't think, you don't need to get the elephant, right?
Yeah, don't even get me started on that.
Respect.
Game. Trophy hunting.
Respect life, but still do what we want to do and grab some fish, get your elk or whatever.
We're into a different kind of trophy hunting in the BMX world.
Yeah, right. Oh, I see what you did there. No pun intended. So yeah, how many? So what's you got like a trophy wall, or you mentioned you gave some away, or
for a long time I kept everything I won, every trophy, every plaque, every ribbon. This last summer, we've just been trying to downsize a little bit, and I just kept my number ones, trophies, and the ones that really meant something to me, and then I got rid of all the rest. And so now I'll either just take a picture with the trophy and hand it back. I don't need to keep it. But I think you just get to a point where you don't have to take home every single trophy. Like when we cleaned out my teenager's room, I think we got rid of 200 trophies because he literally kept every single one, and we had no more space. So
yes, I know. In the competition zone of whatever sport it is, they always like to give you a trophy when you win, and it's fun to have that trophy.
Or a plaque. But I think the longer you do a sport like BMX, you're what's more important is your ranking or how many points you're getting. The fact that you won, but you don't, or got on the podium, but you don't need a trophy to show that.
So do you have a rank?
I'll eventually have a district ranking. We're a little behind this year. I don't even know what I would be for my age group nationally. I'm not really going to check that till probably the end of the summer. So listeners out there, in case you don't know, we got Michelle Goodin, superstar BMX racing champion. Just got into the sport 10, 11, 12 years ago. I think I say it different every time. And is 51 years old. And that's awesome. Just winning left and right. Like Charlie Sheen says, winning. It's a great sport. I would encourage anybody to come out and try it no matter what your age. We've got guys in their 70s still racing. We have a lady friend,
70s.
Miss Kitty. She lives in the Midwest. She's 74. She's the oldest woman BMX racer in the country. She's amazing. She kind of is we all want to be Miss Kitty. To know that we still have 20, 25 years left of racing.
Does she show up with cats, or?
She's not. No, she's she's slowing down a little bit.
One black cat that rides on the front.
But the fact is, she's out there. She told me one time. I said, "What keeps you going?" Doing this sport, because her kids are all grown up and they don't race anymore, and she's still at it. And she said that she was going to outlive all of her friends, and just I think that speaks volumes about staying in shape, doing a sport that you love, having a supportive community around you. And you've got kids that race, the parents race, the grandparents race, so it's a generational sport, because a lot of these guys started in the 80s at the height of BMX becoming popular, and so now they've got their kids racing and grandkids, and it's just a really great sport to be involved in. So
when the race is about to start and Miss Kitty's lined up, does she say, "We need to start this race right meow"?
No, she doesn't meow. I wouldn't want to mess with her. I think she's a school teacher. She'd scare me. A retired school teacher. She'd scare me, I think. But she's just an inspiration. We don't have a lot of women over 50 out there racing, especially the 20-inch bikes. And so we're really working hard across the country to increase those numbers.
Awesome. And I want to thank you for joining me again today.
Thank you so much.
We actually did chat for one straight hour regarding BMX for about 50 minutes and 10 minutes of fishing in there.
Yeah, check our Facebook page, Instagram in the next week or so for our opening date. And thank you, Visit Bend.
And that was another episode of One on One with Raider Mystic. I'm your host. Coming up next, stay tuned for Cosmic Community. Cosmic Community. I got you in there.